today we're talking about playing the changes. So let me start with a couple of things. Number one, we're going to be talking in numbers. We're not using tabs. We're not doing any of that stuff. So if you don't understand what I'm talking about, if you go to my video, which I'm going to try to link here, how to use scales. I talk about the nomenclature we're using. It's a good basis for what we're doing today. Okay, so we are today tuned to open D tuning. That's the tuning I use. It's D, A, D, D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. I'm using today my DCC plexi. Okay, it's an 18-watt plexi with the custom power section. It was built for me. It's one of my favorite amps of all time. It's great. I am also using a great Eastern Effects Designer drive for a little bit of juice. So this is without the drive. This is with it. So we're tuned to open D tuning, and we're talking about playing the changes. And what that basically means is playing notes that make sense, right? If the notes in a D chord are let me start. If the notes in a D chord are, we don't want to end on, it's not a good place to stop. So a lot of times we can use our ear, we know, that's how we resolve it. But playing the changes means falling on the right notes in the right chords. There are a lot of different approaches. This is my approach. There's no right or wrong here. The way I do it, I don't do it as just playing arpeggios. I don't do it with playing those against that. Although I do know that those are the notes. So again, we're going to talk about some stuff. Today we're going to start with 2 chords. We're going to start with our 1 chord and our 4 chord. If you don't know what the 1 and the 4 is, I would encourage you again to go watch the video about how I use scales. But the 1 chord is D. D is 1. So we have E, F, G is 2. In this case, it would be an F sharp because they're in the key of D. It's a whole different thing. It doesn't matter. We're going from a D chord to a G chord. 1 to 4. The notes in our 1 chord are 1, 3, 5. The notes in our 4 chord are 4, 6, 1. So we're going to start simple. We're going to start with a 1 chord and a 4 chord. 1 to 4. I'm using a drum machine. The loop sounds like this. Okay, nice and simple. I just wanted to lay something down real easy. We're going to use the whole D major scale. All over the neck, everywhere. We already talked about this a little bit, right? Finding where our 1s are, where our 3s are, where's our 5s. So, we're starting real simple, right? Just from the 3 to the 4. We can think of it like lyrics, really dumb lyrics like baby, I love you, whatever. We just want it to be, we want to have an intention there. What we're looking for is this move, but not just that. It's not just. I'm going to use notes from the scale in between and this, including doing some repeated notes maybe sometimes. We'll see. But the whole idea is this. We're starting real simple, 3 to 4, okay? So we're starting to hear the changes in our playing. We're landing on a note that makes sense each time. I'm starting with the 3 and the 4. If this seems complicated, it's not. We're starting with just add a note above the note, right? Just the one note above. Now add the note below the note. Same note, it turns out. And then, whoa. See? Now we'll add 2 notes up. I can use little patterns to kind of get used to the different moves, but at the end of the day, the idea is 3 to 4. We've been doing it in this area. Let's move it around. Let's move it up to here. Here's 3 on the second string. 4 up here. If you have not remembered, I don't do tabs. Tabs are not, you got to use your ear. We want to use our heart. We want to use our feel. We want to get used to hearing these notes because this is really common stuff. And the more you can hear it, the more you're used to it, the more that you're going to understand it when you're listening to other stuff. When you start hearing, oh, I know exactly what that is. This all develops together. Playing around in different areas, and again, I realize that sometimes I'm getting a little more complicated. We want to start as simple as possible. It's okay to be bad at this, right? The whole point is to practice. The whole point is to focus on melody and to focus on starting and ending on notes that make sense. It's the whole idea. So 3 to 4. Let's stay with the same thing. Let's stay with the 3 here. But now I want to go down. What's the next note below my 3 on my 1 chord? My 3 on my 1 chord. Okay, we have 1, 3, 5, right? We have 4, 6, 1. The next note down from my 3 for my 4 chord is a 1. I'm going to say that again. The next note down from my 3 on my 4 chord is a 1. Right? So now I'm going to work on going down to that 1 from the 3. We'll start up top. You may be catching the pattern here. I can do this between each note, 5 and 6. Again, 1, 3, 5. I know notes. 4, 6, 1. But we have this 5 on the 1 chord. I'm not playing it in tune though. There we go. Right? So, and you'll see, I don't always play stuff in tune. I can be sloppy. Interesting. There we go. 5 to 6. Five to 4. There's a 3. I got chord, I guess. 5 to 6. Come on. Now 5 to 4. Right at the end there, I heard it in my head and I just didn't play it. Catching these themes as we go, you can start hearing it, you can start feeling it. Feeling where to go and what I want to do is part of this whole experience. Moving it all over the neck. So we're still on 4 the 1 chord to the 4 chord. This is going to be, I don't know, have we started on the 1 yet? We haven't started on the 1 yet. So it's not my favorite place to start. It can be a little boring, but we'll start with the 1, and we'll go down to the 6. So 1, the note down from my 1 on my 4 chord is the 6, or I could stay on the same chord, which is also a 1, right? Because the 1 is in both. There's 1 against 1. Here's 1 against 4. But I think let's go 1 to 6, right? 1, 7, 6. It's a really nice move. But I'm going to try to actually do it the right way, the way I talked about. I start getting, again, this is something that I've talked about, I think, in other videos too, but don't get distracted trying to keep yourself in this one spot because there's so many options for this melody. So getting carried off into other melodies and stuff, you're robbing yourself of an opportunity to explore as opposed to play the same stuff that you keep playing over and over again. And that is also true for me. I get stuck in ruts, and one of the beautiful things about talking about this stuff is it really makes me explore really, really micro versions of the neck. That last one was really cool. I would always go down there. I would always, go down to that 4, find some way to do it. The fact that I'm trying to stay in this exercise made me go back up to that 6. It was like, oh, that's exciting, and you could see it on my face, I think. These are the things we're talking about, getting excited, trying to get out of a rut. If you can't get out of a rut, instead of trying to learn something new, really, really make it micro. So we're talking about a 1 chord and a 4 chord right now, right? But this can apply to any set of chords. This can apply to any set of chords in one singular key, or it can apply to chords in multiple keys. And so one thing that's really cool, if we start learning this stuff, here's the stuff that's in the scale. Then as soon as we get a weird chord that's not in the scale, it's way easier to play along with. That is going to be a separate video, clearly, because I think this is going to be a lot for a lot of people. But I want you to start thinking about a melody that transitions. Okay? 3 to 4, 3 to 1. That's on the 1 chord. We're going from the 1 chord to the 4 chord. I have a note above each one of my 1 chord notes. So here's 1 on the 1 chord. Go clean for this part. Here's 1 on the 1 chord and 1 on the 4 chord. Now here's 1 on the 1 chord again, down to the 6 on the 4 chord, down to the 5 on the 1 chord, down to the 4 on the 4 chord, down to the 3 on the 1 chord, down to the 1 on the 4 chord. You see what I'm saying? Down to the 5 on the 1 chord, up to the 6 on the 4 chord. I can't grab those notes the right way. I don't have it. I ran out of space. The point is, as I jam on this, I have unlimited options, because this is what most songs are, 1 to 4. Maybe you add a 5, maybe you add a 6. But the point is that we're going to be working through a change or multiple changes. So knowing where I am, 3 against 1, 4 against 4, 5 against 1, 6 against 4. I should have started here. So 3, 4, 5, 6 against 4. 1 against 1, 1 against 4, 3 against 1, 4 against 4. As soon as I can internalize that a little bit, now I can play along with it I'm going back to my dirty sound just because it's more fun. Start small. Start with one area. Start with one note. Start with one change. And then start to expand. But make sure that you're landing on the right notes against the right chords. Because what that's going to do, we can always add the fancy stuff, right? If I have a 3 to 4... all I'm going to do, I'm going to keep those two, that idea. I'm going to keep that idea the whole time. I'm going to start making it fancier and fancier. But that's going to be the core of the thing, and that's the only part that matters because that becomes the theme. Ending. I kind of missed the note I was going for there at the end. But the point is, as I'm adding fancier stuff, the whole point is this part is the part that's there the whole time. And as we keep it that's the part that grabs people. And then everything else can be fancy, but we need the theme. No matter what we do, if we're going to jazz it up, if we're going to rock it up, if we're going to blues it up, if we're going to singer-songwriter it up, all that stuff. I'm not here to talk about technique. I'm not here to talk about string gauge. I'm not here to talk about like what finger picks I use. The point is we're talking here about how to apply knowledge of notes to playing melodies in music. How to look at your song and you're going to take a solo and here it comes, right? How to improvise, how to apply music theory in a way that is practical. How to use your ear in a way that's going to allow you to be musical, because these are the things, at least for me, that end up providing depth and joy when I play. Whether I just turn on a playlist and play along with the songs that are happening, or I'm creating stuff every day. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is emote in some way, express myself in some way, not just play a bunch of notes. That is what creates, for me, the feeling. And so the first step is the 1 chord and the 4 chord. And we can apply this to any set of notes, right? We can pull up a 5 chord and we know what the notes are. 5, 7, 2, 6 chords, 6, 1, 3. Pull up any progression that you like. Start breaking down the note progressions and then start playing through them, right? A 1, 5, 6, 4, one of the most common progressions there is. You start to see why you can go from one note to the next, and it's super easy. Find the songs you like, break down the chords, and then start playing along. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for checking it out.